Pate Gopesha Gopilakanda Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari I would just like to discuss one or two shlokas probably in chapter 9, Bhagavad Gita as it is. Chapter 9 is very interesting for a very unique reason, because by now we have gone through many chapters from many, amazing teachers have preached, including Srila Prabhupada, and they talk about Bhagavad Gita. Every chapter is very significant in leading a person, a seeker, to some amazing truths about oneself. Chapter 9 comes to a phase when Arjuna, right in the middle of the battlefield, has asked these very prolific questions as to who am I, why am I here? Because we all know by now that he is fighting a battle against his own relatives, against his uncles and against his cousin brothers, against his very close relatives, his gurus and acharyas, people who have taught him, people who have nurtured him, people who are responsible for him being even great. He's fighting against his own teacher, Dronacharya. So even though when you look at the story part of it, we always think that it's happening to another person, not to me. If we treat Bhagavad Gita as a part of a story, it's just a story. But it's not. It actually happened. It's an event that happened in Kurukshetra. And the one who spoke was no ordinary person. Lord Shri Krishna spoke. So there is a significance here. If such a case were happening to us, if I was in a field, it need not be Kurukshetra. We are fighting battles every day in our lives. We are fighting Kurukshetra every single day in our life. And we come across so many situations that we have to make decisions which may affect ourselves and people around us. Sometimes we are connected very strongly to people against whom we are making decisions. It can happen at work, it can happen at home, it can happen anywhere in the world. But this especially is a spiritual text. So for the devotee, it's very significant, because one who is asking this question himself is a great devotee, one of the greatest devotees of Sri Krishna, Arjuna. So Arjuna's question brings forth the most confidential knowledge. The 9th chapter is the most confidential knowledge. What is it? Let's find out. Shri Arjuna Vacha Idam Tute. Can you repeat after me? I'm just going to be very slow now, so I'll just speak 2 shlokas today so that we can just get into the spirit of the 9th chapter. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Idam Tute Guhyatamam Pravachan Anasuyave Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam Yajñātva Mokshase Shubhat. So Sri Krishna says, my dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. We have already seen in the end of chapter 8, Lord Krishna finishes the sentence, Vedeshu yagnyeshu tapah suchaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upaiti chakyam. Says Arjuna, a person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing the sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving in charity, pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these and more, and at the end he reaches a supreme eternal abode. In this one shloka, Lord Sri Krishna summarizes pretty much the different paths of yoga in the Bhagavad Gita. We have Karma Yoga, we have Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, culminating in Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is devotional service. It is a supreme yoga, as we have seen in the Bhagavad Gita. So when Lord Krishna says, you actually attain the results of performing all the different yogas by just doing devotional service. When I say just, devotional service is no menial service. People with amazing and very mature spiritual standing can take to devotional service. It is one of the toughest things to do. I'm still trying to start that. I'm not able to. Many devotees are there, you see, they take it so personally. They decorate the temple, they are cleaning the temple. Some of them are sweeping the temple on a daily basis. Some of them are helping in the kitchen. Some of them are helping in the altar. These duties are extremely significant because you are serving very personally Lord Krishna. In English, there's a sentence, we walk the walk and talk the talk. It's easy to say this. It's easy to read the scriptures. It's easy to preach even because you're reading something aloud. But when it comes to practice, if we do not perform devotional service, all the different yogas, first of all, are very difficult for any human being. No one can come and say, oh, I'm doing Dhyana Yoga and I'm really enjoying it. Or I'm doing, I'm really practicing yoga. I'm a yoga practitioner. I've actually met some very serious yoga practitioners. At the end of it all, they're still searching for that quintessence, something that will make them feel at peace. And on the other hand, I have met amazing devotees who experience Krishna's touch and feel by decorating the deities, by bringing fruits and flowers to the temple every day, by sweeping the floors, because this is where hundreds of devotees come every day. This is so significant, so poignant. Krishna again and again and again in the Bhagavad Gita, especially in the Bhagavad Gita, he stresses. That's why he says, Yoginam api sarvesham. The yogi who's the most powerful and the most advanced is the one who always thinks of me in the end. There is no point going through so much of textual knowledge if you don't love Krishna. You have so much of textbook knowledge or so much to know. I agree. And knowing is very important. Yantwa Mam, he said, know me. So knowledge is the basic. But more important is, if that knowledge does not end up, it's like saying, oh, I really love my mom, but I do nothing for her. But I can sit in my corner and say, oh, I really love my mom. Have I given a flower to her? Have I helped her with the dishes one day? And if I answer that no, I don't love my mom. Because it's easy to say, oh, I love my dad very much. Have I done something for this person that I claim to love? It can be anyone in our lives. So what we practice in our life, and we show our love by doing stuff to our, whether it's our kids, whether it's our spouses, whether it's our friends, our community, our country, anything. Our love is shown by what? Action. So Prabhupada always stresses that. Act. Because in that action comes a hoard of knowledge. Because you are actually doing something for which people study MA, PhD. And here you are being given Raso Vaisaha. Krishna is Raso Vaisaha. He is the taste of everything. So taste him first. Because when you taste Krishna, you pretty much have tasted it. Because nothing else is permanent anyway. As the saying always goes, right? I mean, you can have 10 rasagullas. The 11th rasgulla, you start vomiting. I mean, it's proven to each and every one of us. I mean, many of us like pickles. Eat 4 pickles and you'll see how much of stomachache you have. Right? I mean, everything, whether it's bitter, sweet, everything. Every kind of taste, every kind of experience has to culminate in something which is negative. Srila Prabhupada, that's why he says, go for the positive right away. Instead of going searching so much and then coming. Because Lord Krishna will say, even in the 9th chapter, all the different yogas will eventually lead to me. So none of these yogas are wrong. None of these yogas are negative in the path itself. But the end of the result, or the end of the path, if I know, like our Srila Prabhupada, how he said, if you want to go to Mumbai from here, I would rather take the direct flight to Mumbai than going through different other, destinations. So it's as simple as that. This is the Guhyatamam, the most confidential knowledge. As a devotee hears more and more about the Supreme Lord, he becomes enlightened. This hearing process is recommended in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The messages of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are full of potencies, and these potencies can be realized if topics regarding the Supreme Godhead are discussed amongst devotees. Now again, some of these are punchlines. If we discuss Krishna Katha, if we discuss about Lord Krishna with a group of party goers, do you really think you're doing anything good for yourself or that party goer? No, I don't think so, right? Do you agree with that? So, to be in association is number one requirement. Srila Prabhupada always stresses that. Be in satsange, shatashange in Bengali, we say in Sanskrit, satsangaha. The right association is extremely important for anyone, first of all, and for a devotee more than anybody. Because the right association, if that is missing, your path can be waylaid. It's very easy to fall in the trap of Maya. It's so easy, it takes within seconds to forget what is right thing to do. This path cannot be achieved in the association of mental speculators or academic scholars, for it is realized knowledge. The devotees are constantly engaged in the Supreme Lord's services. The Lord understands the mentality and sincerity of a particular living entity who is engaged in Krishna consciousness and gives him the intelligence to understand the science in association of devotees. Discussion of Krishna is very potent, and if a fortunate person has such association and tries to assimilate the knowledge, then he will surely make advancement towards spiritual realization. Lord Krishna, in order to encourage Arjuna to higher and higher elevation in his potent service, describes in 9th chapter the matters more confidential than he has in any other chapter hitherto. That's why the 9th chapter is very important, because even though the other chapters talks about devotional service, it starts very nicely with Karma Yoga. What is Karma Yoga? Dhyana Yoga. The different yoga systems, what is in what? It's not easy, the Dhyana Yoga, Even when you do different types of austerities to keep your mind focused, to do all the dravya yajnas, to get all the right items, to beast, to thoughts, to start the pujas, to start the rituals in the right time, to finish it in the right time, your pronunciation cannot be incorrect. You need to have the right focus, the right people around you who perform the yajnas. It is no easy matter to do these different yajnas. That's why Srila Prabhupada always stresses, do something which is not only in your capacity, it is also something you will enjoy, and the result will be the most precious result which all these different paths of yoga are searching for. And that is ultimately achieving Lord Krishna's love. That's the love we all hanker for. The very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter, is more or less an introduction to the rest of the book. In the second and third chapters, the spiritual knowledge is described as confidential. Topics discussed in the 7th and 8th chapters are specifically related to devotional service because they bring enlightenment in Krishna consciousness. They are called more confidential. Srila Prabhupada here stresses the importance of unalloyed, pure devotion. That is why it is called Parama Guhyatamam, the most confidential knowledge. Guhyatamam. One who is situated in the most confidential knowledge of Krishna is naturally transcendental. He therefore has no material pangs, although he is in the material world. So in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, if anyone has a chance here to attend the Bhakti Shastri courses or even read up the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, I would really encourage it. It's a beautiful text. It shows the whole, the waves of Bhakti as we understand Sri Krishna, the path of devotion. And in that it actually tells you, it overlays the principles of the bhakti or of devotion, how you can achieve love for Lord Sri Krishna in whatever stage we are in. The qualifications are barely minimum. The striving and the hard work is definitely there, but you achieve that just by surrendering to Lord Sri Krishna. He guides you through every step. And that's what the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is all about. So in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is said that although one who has a sincere desire to render loving service to the Supreme Lord is situated in the conditional state of material existence, he is still to be considered liberated. Similarly, we can find in the Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, that anyone who is engaged in Krishna, service of Lord Sri Krishna, is a liberated person. Now this very first verse has specific significance. And the word idam jnanam, this knowledge refers to pure devotional service, which consists of 9 different activities: hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping, praying, obeying, maintaining, friendship, and surrendering everything. By the practice of these 9 elements of devotional service, one is elevated to spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness. When one's heart is thus cleansed of material contamination, one can understand the science of Lord Krishna. Simply to understand that a living entity is not material is not sufficient. So just by, okay, that's step 1, I am not the body, is that step 1. But it doesn't stop there. There are many yogic schools of thought who stop right there. I'm not the body, I'm Atma. And then what? I'm still realizing, and one day I'll be one. What this one is, who that one is, who knows? One doesn't know. All we can say is, when you achieve something, do you have that sense of belonging, that sense of happiness, that sense of love? We all realize in our day-to-day lives, when we serve someone, we are very happy. Can you agree with me or not? Right? When we serve our spouses, when we serve our moms, our dad, our kids, when we cook for them, everything makes us very happy. We're looking forward to do that. Srila Prabhupada always says, he always encourages us, whatever you are experiencing in this material life, enhance that. Enhance that to serving Lord Krishna and engaging in all the activities which make him happy, because you internally becomes completely happy, completely satiated. Because in that love, there is no going back. There is no demise. There is no turning back. There is no deviation. Because it's so straightforward, so simple, so pure, and so beautiful. in the 7th chapter, we have already discussed the opulent potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, His different emergent energies, the inferior and the superior natures, and all this material manifestation. Now in chapter 9, the glories of the Lord will be delineated. The Sanskrit word anasuyave in this verse is also very significant. Generally, the commentators, even if they are highly scholarly, are all envious of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, they do not describe Bhagavad Gita correctly. Srila Prabhupada always maintains that. When we describe Lord Sri Krishna, we have to understand Him completely. He is not just a historical personality. He is not just a yogic figure. He is a Supreme Personality who also resides within us and without. He has the capacity to manifest everywhere and in everything. Yet He is our personal Lord Sri Krishna. And for a devotee, that is more important than anything else. And that is why we concentrate on the personal form of Lord Sri Krishna.